All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We're here at the IMARC conference in Melbourne. We've just got an army of police passing us, so we're all safe. And I'm joined by Managing Director of Galan Lithium, Juan Pablo Vargas de la Vega. JP, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Philip, and thanks for saying my name correctly.
Fantastic. And I hope you feel safe with all the presence.
Police presence. Well, that's quite a crowd.
Welcome to Melbourne, is all I can say. Now, it's been a while since we've, well, actually, I saw you at Kalgoorlie earlier this year at Diggers and Dealers, but we met 3 years ago at Kalgoorlie, and Galan Lithium didn't exist back then. Can you run us through the story of when I first met you and how it's come to be since then?
Yeah, well, a lot of things have happened in a short period of time. Since then, I went to Argentina and identified a lithium opportunity within the Hombre Muerto basin. The Hombre Muerto basin is in Argentina is a world-class basin because you got big companies there like the Livent Corporation that previously was known as FMC. You got POSCO and you got Galaxy Resources, and POSCO acquired the top half of Sal de Vida that was early this year, and that was a transaction of $280 million. So when I saw an opportunity a couple of years ago, I pretty much came back to Australia, quit my job, took my savings, and went to Argentina to get the contracts done. I managed to get them all. Put them into a PTY limited company called Blue Sky Lithium. Came to Australia and got it funded, and then looked for a company that could merge and with the view of listing and continue exploration in the ASX, which I did. Merged with Densi Minerals, and Densi Minerals became Galan Lithium. So since then, Galan Lithium's been doing a lot, and not long ago we just have our first maiden resource statement with high grade and low impurities, consistently showing that Hombre Muerto is a very strong place for lithium, and we have just started our PFS. So within that, there's a lot of happening in a very short period of time, and I'll take my hat on the crew in Argentina and the strong support from the board in Australia, and we can be being able to do all of this fast-track work, and there's more to come in the near future.
Absolutely, and you just touched on the crew there. Now, I've noticed recently you've had some big name additions to the team. Can you run us through a little bit behind them and what they're going to bring to the company and why they were brought on board?
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Jimenez, he was with SQM for 28 years. SQM is one of the top 3 lithium companies in the world. Just to put them in context, they are listed in the New York Stock Exchange, and also they're listed in Chile. They managed to produce more than 50,000 tons of lithium carbonate per year from the salt flat of Atacama. And Daniel's got a wealth of knowledge in the lithium sector. Something that he did last year, he placed and sold approximately $900 million worth of product from SQM in 2018 into the market. So he's the best placed person that we could find in the market that can work with us. I've known Daniel for the last 8+ years, and he's always been good, and I always regarded Daniel as a person that you can work with, and luckily we have him now operating with us. He's very proactive. He's currently in London this week. He's at the LME conference. He's going to be at a discussion panel for lithium at the LME, even though lithium doesn't get traded in the LME. But interesting enough, the London Stock Exchange is looking potentially to list lithium as one of the contracts metals in there. I mean, there's a lot of hurdles because it's more like a chemical product more than a metal product, but the fact that there's an interest, it shows that the lithium market is maturing, and even though it could end up being like iron ore on a monthly contract or even a spot contract, it shows that there's an intent for things to improve, change, and there's a view that the market will grow significantly in the near and long term.
And just with that, we've actually covered that story before if people are interested on the site regarding the LME and with regards to lithium. For people that aren't aware, how does it currently get traded, and what would the implications be if it did change to like an exchange traded?
Well, there's lithium as such is not just lithium metal. You find commodities like nickel, copper, and aluminium, and others. It has different sort of products, and but if I could give you a parallel for people to understand this a bit better, is similar to what you were seeing with iron ore 10 years ago. There was once a year the large companies will sit down and get an agreement on the yearly price for iron ore, and that's what will happen. Mainly SQM, it was is still a price setter for the contracts for 1 year, and from then on, the contracts get locked in, and SQM produces lithium knowing what they're going to face. Recently, because of the demand for lithium and the high production from Australia in the spodumene sector, which is the main product comes from lithium concentrate, you have a market that is opening, and it's more on a transaction basis or on a monthly basis. Everything is changing, and what it will be required for that to enter the LME. There are a lot of chemical hurdles in terms of the complexity, because you got many grades, many applications, many uses. So trying to get one price to bound the rest of the prices is going to be a bit difficult. I'm more of the idea that you'll have a spot price for specific qualities, and that's something that is the market seeing. For instance, 6% concentrate, lithium concentrate, or lithium oxide actually, for the Australian producers, something that you can see on the market. Then the main other prices that you see is 99.5% lithium carbonate. That is the understanding what is battery grade. There is not much of a say of that 0.05%, because those impurities, it has its own price, and it will affect your how good your product is. But having said that, if you try to have like strong points, like the concentrate and lithium carbonate, and also lithium hydroxide as well, there is a precedent, there is a base. This is slowly moving into a more consensus type of product for the applications that they're going, because lithium is also applied in the grease industry. It's also applied for lubricants, and that's the type of grease. It is in ceramics as well, glasses, and so on. So it's a medicine as well. So and the requisites, or what is lithium made or used for, it will require different sort of quality products. So it's a very complex market that if you're trying to have just one price, it makes it really difficult to nail it.
Fair enough. So it seems like there's a need for it, but it hasn't been quite solved just yet. But as we're saying, the demand for battery metals, especially lithium, is growing. So I guess that's something we can expect to see in the future, obviously, with the LME trying to lead the way on that one. Now, taking it back to your project, obviously you did have the high-grade results recently. Is that now become an exploration priority, or what are the next steps people can expect to see from the company?
Well, we were highly surprised and really happy that in a short period of time we were able to have a resource estimate, and made a resource estimate that was done independently by SRK. The resource estimate came down to 685,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, and the grade was 672 milligrams per liter of lithium, which is, for us, is more than enough to start thinking of a project. If you start looking at our peers and the ones that got pilot plants and the ones that are wanting to do something, they got a smaller resource of what we have. With that in hand, we'll start doing studies, and we're kicking out our pre-feasibility study that is going to go for the next 18 months. Something that from the first phase of the study, which is mainly production borehole drilling and a lot of engineering, we then will understand how big Candelas can be in terms of production profile, and also we'll be looking as a second stage, and sometime next year we would like from the results of that to have a pilot plant at site. So in second half 2020 we'll like to have that pilot plant and start producing lithium carbonate, so we can prove that actually our Candelas lithium is still viable. But this is a strong indication that it is. If you look who are our neighbours, if you got Livent Corporation for Fenix processing plant, lithium carbonate processing plant. They've been producing lithium carbonate for the last 25 plus years. So there's a strong precedent there that lithium carbonate can be obtained. You have recently big news from POSCO end that the chairman of POSCO went to Hombre Muerto and they're strongly committed to develop the project. I've been around and I've seen that they're quite busy drilling, and they've got a big camp on the northern part of Hombre Muerto. I can tell that they have significant investment, quite a bit of money, but being a private company, or a large company, better said, not private, a large company, they don't have to disclose as much. And I can only go about what I see. But what I see is looking good. So it's very interesting, and a site visit for the POSCO chairman to site. That shows that they're taking the project very serious. The $280 million was not just a punt; they're actually doing a lot of work. And then lastly, Galaxy resharpening the pens. They had a full feasibility study, a bankable one, that they wanted to press a button. They put this on hold, and they came back saying that they're testing optimizations that they found out that could be done, and also they're testing different technologies. So the whole of Hombre Muerto indicates that there are things that can be done. That is highly active. I always describe that as elephant country, and we are baby elephant that is growing within our peers.
So with that, is your future plan to keep developing the resource yourself, or are you looking to kind of do something with these guys that are around you, or what's kind of the plan there?
Well, we can only control what we can control, and that is definitely de-risk the project and advance now our project into a pre-feasibility study. From then, there will be a lot of questions being answered, and the natural next step that will be a feasibility study. But one step at a time. We're busy in the next 12, 18 months trying to de-risk our project and start telling the market our findings and how robust Candelas is. Having said that, we recently have more drilling on the western side of Hombre Muerto, on the neighboring side of Livent, or ex-FMC, with significantly high-grade results and very deep holes as well. So we are quite excited that these areas could contribute more to our inventory, our resource statement, and not only that, if we go by what we've seen, our average grade should go up as well.
Now, JP, you've had some outstanding results. What do they mean, and how do they differ, if at all, to the other players in the market, whether in that area or around the world?
Well, in the brine sector, what is very important, grade is king, and that's why the salt flat of Atacama is the best salt flat in the world. Second to that is, very important too, is the level of impurities that you have in your brines. So one of the two key things for us is our lithium to magnesium ratio is one of the lowest out there in terms of the salt flats, and lower even than the Atacama. Then you have the sulfide to lithium ratio, which is it's not necessarily the lowest, but it's very competitive. It's very low to, when you combine them both, it puts us in a very competitive position to being able, if this project goes ahead, in a competitive position, because our operating costs should be lower. Having impurities means that you need to remove them from the system. So having low impurities means that our effort to get low operating costs and be more competitive even in the brine sector compared to our peers, it gives us a fair advantage. So the key thing for Galan is the Hombre Muerto salt flat, and you can see consistently our POSCO, Galaxy and Livent that they are low grade, so low impurities, high grade. And Galan has that recipe, that chemistry that's so important. That's why these large companies are there. We have more of the same. And our latest result is even finding stronger results in terms of even low levels of impurities. And not only that, we start finding more that the hits are showing even higher grade that we find at Candelas. So a recipe of high grade, low impurities is basic, and it's very important for brine projects when you start looking at that. So that's our strong point of differentiation. That's why the large companies are Hombre Muerto, and that's why we're trying to explain the market that we are well positioned to go forward.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for updating us today, JP. We look forward to tracking the story going forward. And hopefully next time we catch up, we can bring some pisco sour and we can have some fun.
Well, thanks, Philip. Yeah, pisco sour, why not?
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.